Hey, we came to the tower property today with one project in mind. As soon as we got here, we realized it hadn't been mowed. This one's usually mowed by someone else, but it hasn't been, looks like all summer, so we're gonna mow it. We're also gonna try to clean up some of these limbs that are hanging down, making it almost impossible to mow. Let's get started. Now there may be some of you saying, well, this is not much material, this is really lightweight stuff, but from our experience, matted fescue like this fescue gets all matted together. It's about the heaviest thing we have to mow ever. Even though it doesn't look so tall now, it's kind of already laid over into itself, and it's really hard to mow. So we chose to bring the flail mower for the Ventrac, on our second trip when we realized we had to mow. And it's really pulling Vinny hard. We typically don't have any trouble pulling this flail with this 37 horse Kubota engine. But today, it's pulling it hard. Dave's focusing on this area right here because as soon as he gets this part done, I'm going to start trimming on these trees a little bit. And we think it's going to be a lot easier to deal with all the branches, the extra stuff that's coming off the trees if it's already been mowed. And also we don't mat it down even further and make it even more difficult to pick up with the mower. Dave, what do you think of that flail?
Doing a pretty good job in my opinion. I like the fact that I can shove it underneath the tree limb.
Yeah, don't get too excited. This is next episode. You'll have to come back and catch that.
It was gonna be one episode until we had to mow.
Yeah, we've got 2 trips now into this. We got 3 pieces of equipment here. Dave had to pull one with his truck. A lot more work than we expected, but the weather's pleasant. It's gonna be fun.
I was thinking the way that Vinny is getting stuck. I can get up on these trees. And unlike a zero turn or another tractor, the articulation on this allows me to shove the front end underneath and kind of even move it over without actually having to move the whole, well, I'm going to call it a tractor, whether that's right or wrong. And I kind of like that versus how you have to do it with, I think, any other attempt mower.
Me too. One of my favorite parts.
I'd say that sticks off the front end about 4 foot. You get a lot more range when trying to mow up underneath the tall limbs.
Now, if you're new with us, this is one of 3 tower properties that we maintain. I probably should use the word maintain a bit loosely because, as you can see, we don't keep it mowed like a lawn, nor have we cleaned up a bunch of things that really do need to be cleaned up at this particular one. We initially got in touch with this company when the tower that's close to our house was growing up. We saw that it had trees on it large enough that if we didn't get to them in a year or 2, it was going to get away from them and require big equipment to do the clearing. All 3 of these towers are out of commission right now. That, combined with the fact that they're in rural areas, means that they really don't want to invest a lot in maintenance. This is a perfect fit for us. At least right now, we don't want to get into the weekly mowing business, but we love having this opportunity to be able to mow some larger pasture-like material and to do some cleanup a little bit at a time. The company does pay us, but in general, we charge what is a very low amount compared to what they would have to pay most other organizations. We've made huge progress on the cleanup of the tower by our house. These other 2 that we just picked up last season, not so much. But we'll continue to chip away and we'll get them looking good as well.
Dave can mow faster than I can walk.
That's strange for Vinny. He's typically rather slow. If it has a cannon shot, I can drive right through there.
Yeah.
I'm sure enjoying the canopy.
You do have your fan on, don't you?
Yes.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't have
need to find out something to put on little Sparky.
Dave, are you driving with your hand or your foot?
I'm driving with my hand.
Yeah.
I can't work the foot control well enough. I'm much better with my hand.
How tall would you say this is?
Tallest fits are up to your knees, so yeah, the tallest fits is the foot. And I suspect that it was standing up and not slumped over. It would be, you know, a foot and a half maybe. Let's say if we were plowing snow, this would be the big one.
I like it.
Now, I really don't know the history, but my guess is that this tower was left without any landscape-style maintenance for several years. We got a lot of mulberries here that are in the 6-inch, 8-inch diameter range. You can see the dead poison ivy behind Dave there on the guy wires. We killed that last year. We also did a whole episode where we were inside the fence around that building battling the poison ivy. We got it, but I had poison ivy for 3 weeks. That was quite an adventure. You ought to go check that one out. We had 3 young men signed up to help us, and they all backed out that morning.
I've had a couple oil leaks in this thing today, and I guess I just want to say a couple things about it. This shield comes off really easily. 4 studs here. You don't even have to try to get in behind to get to the nuts. Once you get that shield off, then I have easy access to all the hydraulics. I want the shield to stay on because I'm bumping around into trees and stuff, and those hydraulic elbows and all those fittings would be vulnerable. The leaks have only been just loose connections. There's not been a problem, but just loose connections. So it's fairly easy access and fairly easy to fix once I got there. This is available at LimbSaws.com, LimbSaws.com. Use code TTWT and you get 5% off, I think. I'm not sure how much for sure you get off. This will not run on a stock 1025R. You have to have Hydros Plus upgraded hydraulic pump to be able to run this. The highest end is probably the best one. And even then you'll need to run pretty much full throttle to get what you need to operate. Pretty cost-effective tool, and it's really it's hard to do a job like this safely with any other tool. In this case, I don't care that I split the log. There is a way to avoid that. Cut part way once and then move over a little bit and cut the rest of the way.
We mulched a lot of this brush pile here on the right. We didn't totally get it finished, ran out of time, but we shrunk it by at least 50%. That was last summer, and we're going to have to get back at it sometime. We'll see when we can squeeze it in. If you look inside the fence here, you'll see that there's some big weeds growing there. We sprayed it earlier this summer. I think we showed it in the video, but I think these weeds are resistant to Roundup, so yeah, they didn't get killed. We sprayed it again this trip. This time we added some crossbow to the mix. I think that'll knock it down. I'm not sure I could mow this with the TS10 10-foot flex swing. Look over there behind Dave and to his right. You'll see a bunch of trees. There's just a lot of trimming. It took a good while to get this knocked down, even though it's not a huge amount of acreage. We'd love to get some of these trees, at least the smaller ones, out of here so it'd be easier to mow.
Dave, we didn't even intend to do this project today.
No, we had everything loaded up and ready for the one project, and then came here and it was like, ooh, it needs mowed.
Yeah, it needed mowing really badly. Another party had been taking care of it. I don't know what happened, but they did not mow it this time. In fact, I don't think it's been mowed since the last time we visited. Yeah. And it had been recently mowed then. So we don't know what's going on, but the point is it's been mowed now. I think it looks remarkably good given how thick that fescue was.
It's not yard quality, but it's definitely pasture quality.
If we mowed it again next week, it'd be almost yard quality. I really like that fine cut flail mower because it can handle really big stuff like this, but it mulched that up really nicely. I think it'll be in good shape come next week. Now, I cut a few limbs with that LimbSaw, and I was afraid I would get too many cut for our next project. So I kind of took a little break from that. You guys need to stick around. We've got more to come. We're going to try to do some more cleaning up here. We're going to show you, next time we're going to show you our wood chipper and hopefully that tree saw a little bit and see what we can do to get some of this brush. See those small sprouts there? We'd like to clean that all out. And next time, maybe we can get that cleaned up. And thankfully the weather's really nice. It's a good time for us to tackle this. Any last minute thoughts about Vinny?
It's noisy. And what's that got for horsepower?
37.
37, 47 would be just a little bit more adequate.
This is the only time we've ever had any horsepower issue. I don't mean horsepower issue really. I mean, it's the only time we've ever taxed Vinny on the flail mower. This stuff was just so tough and intertwined.
Yep.
Folks are going to look at the video and they're going to say, oh, that wasn't very thick. That wasn't.
Yeah, it's plenty thick, especially back over in here. I about choked it out and killed it in there, so.
Yeah, really slow, really slow, and it was doing all that mulching too, of course. So that's why it's pulling us so hard. Hope you folks have enjoyed this. We've had a good day. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie, and all the ways that wickedness deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refused to love the truth and so be saved.